And go.
I'm so happy to be here this evening, and I really believe that we are here for one of the most important reasons that any one of us in our lifetime could offer to supporting women and girls throughout the world. Tonight, we're celebrating the lives of women and girls in Niger, one of the poorest countries in the world, as we know, who came together in the face of incredible odds of COVID to support each other, to support their families, to support their communities. These are brave women and girls. They're heroes to us, given the extent of the poverty that they have to face on a day-to-day basis, but also with the incredible threat of COVID. We do know that COVID has affected women and girls disproportionately throughout the world, and that makes tonight celebrating the women and girls of Niger so incredibly uplifting for all of us. There's a lot to learn from Niger, even though it's the poorest country in the world. Interestingly, Niger, even though it's the poorest, is happier on the World Happiness Index than 50% of the rest of the 195 countries in this world. Now, what does that really mean for us as Americans? What can we learn about why a country so poor can be so happy? Well, it has to do with the fact that they help each other. They're in community with each other. They have to admit vulnerability to each other. They help each other. That's what we're doing tonight. But we can learn that from the Niger women and girls. We can learn this because it's an important thing for us as Americans to recognize that we do need each other. Sometimes I get the feeling that it's almost un-American to admit that we need help, any one of us, but not so there. And I think that is a direct link to why they're so happy, happier than 50% of the rest of the countries throughout the world. I fell in love with the Tuaregs, which is a minority culture and a minority people that we support in Niger through RAIN. I fell in love with them because I got a chance to travel to Morocco, where there is an entire communities of Tuaregs there. I love the clothes, of course, the food, the culture, but the spirit of the Tuaregs are just incredible. We call them teasing cousins because they're so playful. And of course, I love to play. So I made cousins, playful, teasing cousins with each other. And that is such a delightful part of life. And they remind me of that again and again, about that quality of life that's just so incredibly important for all of us to remember and to practice on a day-to-day basis, to play. They remind us of that. Now, why is RAIN important to me? Well, as I really think about it, I just finished a dissertation on women and girls. And one of the reasons that I am focused on women and girls is that for the course of my entire life, I have traveled to over 100 countries, and I have witnessed women and girls in different cultures throughout the world, oftentimes struggling more than they need to. The struggles are political, the struggles are cultural, the struggles are economic, the struggles are sociologically very challenging for many women and girls throughout this country. I've also, throughout this world, I've also seen women and girls flourish. And when do they flourish? Back to the happiness index. They flourish in community. It's what we're doing tonight. It's what we're doing for each other, to lift ourselves up together, to feel part of a world community where we are helping women across the other side of the world. We're learning from them, and we have resources, we have support, we have education that we can bring to them and share with them our pedagogies, our way of doing things that have helped us to advance, to help lift all of us up. So it's a spirit of mutual giving, mutual sharing that we have with the women and girls of Niger. So thank you so much for coming out, for being all together this evening, and heaven only help us all to live together in one uplifting community where women and girls have a seat at the table, where they're decision makers in politics, where they're decision makers in culture, where they're decision makers in the sociological aspects of our lives, and where they are economically. So thank you once again, and have a lovely rest of the evening. We're going to have a lot of fun.